Good day everyone, welcome to Whistle's Wisdom. My name is Nathan Tadman and today I want to talk about Hekate in Egypt. So I'm going to be talking about Heka, Heqet and Weret Hekau, okay, or Hekau, okay. So these are faces of Hekate in ancient Egypt, okay. I will show you, I can't show you some images actually because I don't have any, so I'm going to be talking about it mainly. But I will probably put some images on video as to what I'm talking about at the time, because some of this is going to be in relation to some of my other videos on the Triad of Light, mainly the Triad of Light. I'm probably not going to talk about the Triad of Darkness much in this video, but I will mention the Triad of Light in this video near the end. Okay, so Hekate is commonly known as an ancient Greek goddess, okay? But it is also common knowledge that she predates Greece. So she's actually found, her temples are found outside Greece in Turkey, okay? So Hekate is known to be outside the Egyptian pantheon, all right? So where does Hekate come from? Now, I have found a few sources that leads me to believe Hekate, I wouldn't say originated in Egypt, but her energy is in Egypt for definite. 100% definite. Okay? Max, what are you doing? Sorry. Alright, got a bit of notes. I will look down to peek at those for a moment sometimes. But I'm going to talk about Heka very little bit, because a lot of people know a lot of information regarding Heka. So Heka is also known as a word of power. It is also an Egyptian god of magic. Okay, magic and medicine. It's a male personification, deification of magic and medicine in ancient Egypt. Okay, it's also the Egyptian word for magic, and it's also the Egyptian word for ruler. Okay, a ruler. Heka, a ruler. So Hekate as well also has the energy of the ruler energy in her name. Okay, so it's not just the word of power and the magic essence and energy of the word Heka, it's the use of it being the name for a ruler. Okay, in a way you could think her as a ruler of gods, in a way. Okay, all right, so that is Heka. Again, I would highly recommend, you can find a lot of this online for free. You don't need to buy any books. On Egyptian magic, I do recommend Necronomicon. Said it in my last video. Necrominion. I always get these two mixed up. Necrominion. Not sure if you're seeing that. Necrominion by Michael W. Ford. You do not have to go through Become a Living God to get it. I just got his hardbacks because I like his work. Okay. So yeah, I highly recommend checking out information on Heka, the use of the word of power for Heka. Just research the word. You'll find that it's Egyptian god, it's also a word of power, it's a name for a ruler. Okay, there's also more information on it. I'm not going to let this video go on too long by giving you that information. Feel free to check it out yourself. Okay? Alright, Weret Hekau is next. I'm going to leave the most important one for last. Okay? So I'm not sure if I'm actually pronouncing this name correctly, but Weret Hekau or Hekau, okay? It's the female personification of magic and sorcery in ancient Egypt. The name, quite literally, stands for Great One of Magic, okay? Weret Hekau. Again, Hekau is in that name. Heka is in that name, okay? Known as the personification of supernatural powers. She was the wife of Ra, okay? Again, you can see some connections with Hecate here if you are into Primal Craft, or if you're a Hecatean yourself, you've read the Hecatean book or Liber Chthoniya, or you're just a devotee of Hecate. Weret Hekau, being the wife of Ra, you can, in a sense, look at Ra as an aspect of Lucifer. and Hecate is known to be the father of Lucifer / the wife of Lucifer. Okay, so again, this is another connection from Egypt with Hecate being there. Okay, now this last deity is kind of where it gets a little bit more interesting, because again, there are some connections with that previous one, Heqet Hekau. I'll explain the connections in a moment, but you'll see what I mean. Okay, so Hekет, this is spelt Heqet or Heket. Okay, if you were to research this online and you did Google the word Heket with K, Heket, you will find a lot of information on Heka and Heqet Hekau. You will need to spell it with a Q if you were to search this on the internet to find it. That's what I found. The original place that I found this was on an Etsy store, funny enough, which is the image that I'm going to show you. A guy in Australia kind of remakes kind of ancient tablets, Sumerian tablets, Egyptian stuff with granite. He remakes little symbols, a bunch of stuff. I'll link a picture and I'll put the store down below if you're interested. But this picture, if you're looking at it now, is going to ring a bell to you. The frog. Again, if you know about the primal craft, or if you're Hecatean yourself or a devotee of Hecate, you may know of the toad rite and Hecate's connection to toads. Now, when I got the Queen of Hell book by Mark Allen Smith, the first book of the primal craft, I actually nearly ran over a toad. I was at work. I was doing this bike rental thing. I was riding the bike, and shit, you know, there's a toad. And this book's getting delivered on the way. I believe it was either at my house or on the way to my house at this time. I nearly ran over a toad. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm just days prior watching videos about Mark talking about toad rite and stuff like that. I nearly kill a toad. So I go pick up the toad and stick it near the lake that I was working there. But yeah, let's get back to Heket. So, known as a goddess of fertility and childbirth. I did mention on a previous video that Isis is also known as a goddess of fertility and childbirth. From what I can find, and what seems to be the case, is Heket is older than Isis. Okay? Probably thinking what? But I'll get onto that now. So, mentioned depicted as a frog. So, this is the bit where you can see that it's older than Isis. So, if you've studied Egypt, you may know about a deity called Khnum, a ram-headed god of the water. He is also known as the creator of mankind, depicted as a ram, has a solar energy to it. It is known as the evening sun. He's also known as the evening sun, and he's also known as the creator of Ra, known to create the Ra egg, the sun, and known to be the creator of mankind, creating them from clay. This is where the Bible story comes from. So this is where, again, it gets a bit interesting, because Hekate and Khnum being paired together as creator forces has led me to believe there is a connection, well, not led me to believe, has led me to a connection with Atlantis. So I have been doing a little bit of work with an entity known as Poseidon, first king of Atlantis. He is known as an architect god, known to have been the architect of sea creatures and horses. And then, again, also a water god, Poseidon being a water god. Khnum is also a water god, known to be an architect, creator of mankind, creator of Ra as well. Khnum is also known as the god of the Nile. Now, what I feel, I don't know if this is actually true, it's just what I feel, is I did mention the Triad of Light in my previous video. I feel Khnum and was an aspect that was used to mold Atum Ra. So Ra is kind of depicted like Horus, as a hawk, I believe, or at least like a winged bird. But Khnum is a ram. Atum Ra is also a ram with a sun disc. So I feel the pharaohs of the New Kingdom found some older knowledge and applied it, which is where they came to the unification of Amun-Ra being a bull-headed deity instead of a falcon-headed deity. But yeah, they've been finding a lot of connections between a lot of ancient deities. So, again, Poseidon and Hekate are both kind of considered Greek, but they're not Greek deities. They were found on the outside of Greece before Greece was even a thing. They were worshipped before Greece even had a pantheon. Similar to Prometheus, which I may do another video on a later date. But that is Hekate in ancient Egypt. Okay? Again, if you've done enough research and worked with Hekate yourself, you will know this video will just make things click for you. Okay? It made a lot of things click for me. As soon as I started finding this, I was like, wait, that picture of the frog, he's talking about Heqet, and there was a picture with Anubis as well. I was like, whoa, I need to start researching this bit. Okay, everyone, I'm adding a little bit onto this video because a few days later, because the night that I recorded this first part of the video, I actually found some information that kind of confirmed nearly everything I said at the end of the video. The Egyptian Atlantis connection, and so forth, and the fact that I've been working with Poseidon is essentially connected nearly everything for me. Now, I may or may not do a video in regards to what that is, because there is already a set of videos by a YouTube channel called Bright Insight that will give you some fascinating information on Atlantis and its connection to the Egyptian ancient Egyptian civilization. Okay, but for now I'll just leave it at the Egyptians actually spoke of Atlantis before Plato. It's in the temple of Hathor or Dendera, off the top of my head, may have forgot. But one of those, there's inscriptions on the wall that talks about the Egyptian civilization being remnants of an older civilization. I believe they say it was from the west, or they even say the name Atlantis. Cannot remember specifically, but they do say that, okay? And I also spoke about Poseidon at the end of the video. And again, researching into Atlantis, you're researching into Poseidon. What I found, and surprisingly I didn't learn this beforehand, I should have, but Poseidon, the name, means Lord of the Earth. Okay? And for those that know, and for those that are connected to some certain spirits, I will leave that there for you. Okay? Very interesting thing to find out. And again, it does have connection to the abyssal depths. Again, I will leave that there for those that know. I will leave it here for now. I just wanted to add a little bit onto the end of the video to kind of let you know that everything I said at the end is basically confirmed for me through scientific evidence. Okay? Again, check out the YouTube channel called Bright Insight. Loads of videos on kind of ancient civilizations, potential ancient civilizations that span the continent. I've even said this before, Atlantis spanned the continent. Lemuria and Atlantis spanned the world. I've said it before, and science is essentially proving the things that I've been feeling. Okay? So yeah, peace out everyone. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time.